Yeah, you know, we're going to change it up a little bit just in terms of the style. So a lot of those guys, and the message has been pretty clear, we got to change body types a little bit. We got to get lighter, we got to get quicker.
And just like that, you have it, Bears fans. I believe Ryan Poles just tipped his hands. Welcome to Chicago Bears 360. It's your boy Coach T, back with another video, back with another live with you. Welcome to the channel. There you have it. There you have it. I've been saying it. Here's another hint, and I think this is what's going to happen, right? I've been saying this for a couple weeks now as we lead up to the season, right? Some of the things that I've outlined in previous videos, right? What I believes, right? Based off of the X's and O's, not philosophy, not theory, not whatever you want to come with. That's not where we're going with this. We breaking this down and we making it about the X's and O's. We're making it about the fundamentals of football, right? Based off what we've seen over the couple weeks and what's being said, it's slowly being rolled out. And if you just joined the live, you don't know what I'm talking about, I'm going to play the clip of Ryan Poles speaking at the NFL Combine again. But if you don't know what I'm talking about, do me a favor real fast. Do me a favor, like, subscribe, hit the notification bell, subscribe to the channel, man. This is the only place where we breaking it down, X's and O's style. We making it about the football, man, not about a bunch of hype, not a bunch about crying, griping, complaining. At the end of the day, I'm going to do these videos and I'm going to find out. I'm going to go and look for evidence based off of the decisions the front office is making, the decisions the coaching staff is making, the head coach, the defensive coordinator, offensive coordinator. We're going to make it about the X's and O's every time. So if you don't know what I'm talking about, or if you want to know what I'm talking about, like, subscribe, hit the notification bell. Also, follow me on Twitter at Bears360_Coach T. I tweet throughout the day as things are happening. Sometimes I can't make it to make a live video when things happen immediately, so I'll tweet about it. Follow me there. I think I'm pretty fun. Follow on Twitter. Sometimes it's jokes, sometimes it's laugh, sometimes I'm serious. I'm also tweeting out some results of my mock drafts as we lead up to the NFL draft. But let's get back to it. I want to show this clip again of Ryan Poles discussing the O-line. The reporter asked him about, what he's doing, what he's thinking about doing with the O-line. What's the offensive line looking like? And I'm always talking about offensive line play, because offensive line play is the catalyst to how you create your offense. I describe the offense as a vehicle. And if an offense is your vehicle, the offensive line is your engine. So what type of engine you have, dictates how the offense moves. So if you got some, you got some duds out there, you're going to have you a four-banger, right? If we can get 5 studs across the front, we're going to have us a V6. But let's get back to the clip of Ryan Poles talking about, this offensive line and what they're doing with it.
From this past season, of your offensive line, the players you have under contract, how do you evaluate that group that you've got in the building right now?
Yeah, we're going to change it up a little bit just in terms of the style. So a lot of those guys, and the message has been pretty clear, we got to change body types a little bit. We got to get lighter, we got to get quicker.
So there you have it. Ryan Poles talking to a reporter about how potentially they're going to switch things up in offensive line play, right? And so there's very few things that you can change with offensive line play. There's very few things you can change. Pass protection is pretty standard across the board. It's going to traverse team to team, right? You're going to have 5 versus 5, 5 versus 4, or, in a blitz situation, of course, you may get outnumbered. But from an offensive standpoint, you're going to leave a running back in, a tight end in. You're going to have 6-man, 7-man protection. You're going to slide protect one way and man up on the backside. You're going to slide protect to the strength, man up on the backside in most cases. What I believe Ryan Poles is referring to right there, he's talking run game. He said we're going to change styles, right? Change styles. Again, there's very little you can do in the offensive pass game to change style. I see you, Don. So here you go. The change in style that I believe Ryan is referring to is the run game, right? Now, what's my hint that we're changing the style of run games? I've been alluding to this for weeks. Matter of fact, my most watched video is the one that I did on what I believe Luke Getsy's run concepts going to be. That's my most watched videos, over 5,000 views, I believe. Go check that video out. I broke down the X's and O's of what a gap power offensive run game looks like, right? And how it differs from the system that Matt Nagy ran, which is a primarily zone system. A primarily zone dominant blocking system is more like Sean McVay, right? Inside, outside zone, split zone, right? It's very vanilla. It has very few countermeasures, very few plays that you can do off of, a basic inside, outside zone heavy scheme, right? And so in that video, I outlined in X's and O's what a Kyle Shanahan gap power look like. And what that entails is pulling guards, pulling tackles, pulling fullbacks and tight ends. A lot of pulling across the formation to shift the numbers advantage from one side of the formation to the other, right? So if you're a strong side left or strong side right and the defense shades the numbers over to that side, right, to stop you from, gouging them on that side, right? You can come back and counter by pulling linemen from one side of the formation in a counter, right? You can counter tray, a GT counter, right? Or you can GT is guard tackle counter, which you pull guard and tackle across the formation. You can go with a guard Y, a GY counter, where you pull the guard and the Y, which is the tight end, across the formation to get the numbers back to the other side of the formation. So check that video out. I thought I did a pretty good job of breaking it down. You know what I'm saying? A few errors here and there, but it explains to you. So it would make sense why we're changing styles, right? Here's the thing. Here's the other hint. He said we're changing styles. And it would make sense why players, especially offensive linemen, need to be lighter, need to be quicker, need to be faster, need to be in shape, right? You have to run. You have to run in those situations. You have to pick your big old 6'5" body, 330 pounds. In this case, Ron's probably going to try and get him down to around 310, right? 315. But you have to pick your big body up and carry it and run and sprint to the other side of the formation so you can get an ear hole block on the defensive end or a linebacker so you can lead up in the hole and lead up on linebackers. You have to be quicker, lighter foot, and shiftier foot, quick twitch, and all that to play in this system. That's what I believe he means when he says we're changing styles and we're going to have to get lighter, quicker. That's what it means. That's why he has to get, that's exactly right. That's why you have to get thinner guys, because it matches with a Kyle Shanahan gap power scheme to move bodies, to take advantage of numbers. It's not really, it's not, and this is why I didn't like the Sean McVay zone dominant heavy. This is why I don't like it as an offensive play caller myself. You don't get the linebackers to thinking. If you just line up and run, strong side zone, weak side zone, and boot off of inside and outside zone, you don't have the linebackers thinking. You don't have the defensive coordinator thinking. Guys get to just pin their ears back and take off, and all they have to do is just have the will and desire to beat you on a given play, right? But they always say a thinking defense, right, is a slow defense, right? And so what all those pulling guards and pulling tackles, pulling tight ends and fullbacks is going to cause linebackers to do. It's going to mess up their eyes, right? And if they take a wrong step, an improper step, right, in any situation, a wrong half a step will make you wrong and cause a play, to go to a house. Example, I teach my running backs on counter, right, to take a jab step opposite of the way they're running. So you take a jab step opposite of the way you're running, and then you cut back to the hole, right? That does two things. It gets the linebackers moving the wrong direction because they may be reading you, right? But it also gives that guard and tackle time to get their big behinds over to the other side of the line of scrimmage. Also, it may give time for a guard or a tight end. You can play with the combinations of pullers. You can pull a guard only. You can pull a guard and tackle, the GT counter. You can pull, like I said, the GY counter, right? The guard Y, which is tight end counter. You can pull, You can line up wide receivers on the line of scrimmage and have wide receivers pull into the hole. I've seen Kyle Shanahan do it, and it makes for a complicated. It makes the offense complicated and hard to defend, right? With all those bodies crossing the line of scrimmage, you don't know what's coming at you, right? The other part of that is if you're on the front side of the offensive line and you're not the puller, right? If you're not the puller and you're on the front side of the play, you're usually blocking down. So you're going opposite of what a zone would be. That's why we call it block down, kick out. So you will block down, the guys pull around, and they kick out. That's what he's talking about. That's what I'm referring to. So when you do commentary with the scheme or the concepts in mind, they leave breadcrumbs and clues to me as to what we may be doing and what we may run. The next thing that I'm going to be looking for is the personnel, right? So he said we have to get lighter and thinner, right, at the offensive line position. But the other thing is this: if guys can't get their weight down, if they can't be good, if they're not good at pulling, right? If they don't want to get with the system, then we're going to have to draft guys and pull guys in to fit the mold that we're trying to do, right? Somebody said on social media the other day that they liked Brian Allen at center. When I talked about offensive line play, I said, hey, Brian Allen won a Super Bowl with the Los Angeles Rams. Good offensive center in a Sean McVay system, which is zone dominant, zone heavy, right? But in a gap power offense run game, that center has to be stout. He can't be a light guy. He has to be stout in his concepts. He has to be stout in his defenses. He has to be stout in his position. So watch what happens if you have a center that's light in the britches, right? If you have a center that's light and he gets pushed back into the backfield and you have guards and tackles trying to pull behind him, that disrupts the play, right? That's why I'm picking my personnel based off of the concepts that I believe that we're going to run. That's why I said Ryan Jensen was a better free agent signing for the Bears, because you're not moving Ryan Jensen off the point of contact, of the point of attack. You're not moving him off the point of attack. He's going to be a guy that comes off the ball, snaps the ball, comes off the ball. He can hold his position to allow guards and tackles to pull around him without getting pushed in the backfield, right? That's what I'm talking about. That's what I'm talking about. That's what I talk about gap power. It's system specific, and you have to draft players designed to meet that system. That's where we're going with that. And that's why I believe Ryan gave us clue. And like I said, that's why y'all guys got to tap in, because as we lead up to the season, when we sign a free agent, I'm expecting the free agent old lineman to line up with a gap power system, right? When we sign a tight end, when we sign a fullback, I'm going to get into that in a minute. Before I jump into that, I know I've gone down the rabbit hole. I'm passionate about the X's and O's, but I have to give a shout out. Of course, I'm going to give a shout out to my guys in the chat, Charlie T, Terrain Whitfield, and Don Burr, our house guest over from the Detroit Lions, my guy. But I want to give a shout out to all the subs throughout the week, the guys that sub. So let me pull those guys up, because I never wanted to make it or let it be lost on you guys that I appreciate, every sub. I don't take this for granted. You guys, it's your time. You can do what you want to do with your time. So shout out to Field Soldiers. Little play on words right there. Soldier Fields. These are Field Soldiers. These are the guys that sub to the channel. These are the guys that ride or die for QB1. Shout out to you. I'm messing up my transitions, but that's okay, man. That's okay. We're going to let it ride anyway. Shout out to Terrain Whitfield, man, who just subbed to the channel, man. I seen you, Terrain. I've seen you in other channels as well. The Bo Jigga. Okay, Bo Jigga. Shout out to you for subbing to the channel. Tribe Ayuda. Presso Hutchinson. Isaiah Intzminger. I don't want to butcher your name, Isaiah, but I appreciate you. Shout out to you for subbing to the channel. Bears Forever. Mr. Jones 315. And I believe that's it for this week since Saturday. Those guys are subbed to the channels. Look, guys, I appreciate you. The channel has been growing tremendously. We're going from 77 followers from when I was doing videos through the city during the season, didn't know what I'm doing, to barely know what I'm doing now and doing video with me live on the camera. We've gone from 77 subscribers, and I think we're somewhere nearing 500 right now in a matter of 2.5 weeks. That means somebody must like what I got to say on this channel. And speaking of which, man, y'all know what this next section is. It goes down in the DMs. This is where I take comments from throughout the week. Things that I think is special, man. And again, Coach T is always going to make it about the X's and O's, right? Things that I think that's special that I see out there throughout the week, comments-wise, that I'm going to pull in to the show. And this was a special comment. Let's hit the segment and we'll get into it.
It goes down in the DM. It go down. It go down in the DM. It go down. It go down.
There you go, man. It goes down in the DMs, or in this case, man, the comment section. Let's pull up the comment, man, and see what we working here right here with. He said, let's see, Shosh Bowl says, really enjoy your perspective on forcing two safety defensive alignments. Is that something that defenses run even on short yardage situations? Do wideouts have to run deep patterns often? And I didn't see the second part. So Shaspo asking, do two high safeties, is that something that defenses run on short yardage, right? And do wideouts run long patterns often? That's a two-part question. I'm gonna attempt to answer the question the best that I can. So, do defenses run two high safeties versus short yardage situation? Third and 1, 3rd and 4, something short yardage situation where you just have to run a minimum play or get a short yardage to get a first down. I absolutely do not expect the defense to be into high safety, because then think about it, right? As an offense, I'm gonna put in like 12, 13 personnel, right? One running back, 2 tight ends, one running back, 3 tight ends, and I'm gonna find a way to pick up that yard, right? That's either gonna be a short yardage run, right? There's gonna be a dive, there's gonna be a counter, there's gonna be a power play, right? If it's inches, it's gonna be a quarterback sneak. And I'm also gonna have a quarterback play action or boot off of that. I'm gonna have a play action or boot off of that play, right? So defense is very rarely, or they would not. It wouldn't be smart for a defense to stay in too high in a short yardage situation. So what does that do? It gives you off options as a play caller, as an offensive coordinator. If they go to single high safety, right? You immediately know what coverage they're in. They're either going to be in man coverage or cover 3, right? So they're going to have that safety sitting up at the middle of the field, right? Because I'm showing 12, 13 personnel. They're expecting me to run. And depending on where we are on the field, I'm either going to run that play, right? Or for the savvy play callers out there, you got to take this as an opportunity to take your shots. So say it's 4th and 1, right? You need 1 yard. The safety walks down in the box. You got single high safety, right? You motion a man, the man trails. You think they're manned up, right? So if the man trails with the wide receiver you put in motion, that's man coverage. If you get man coverage and you got a dog out there that's a speed receiver at the X or Z position, right? Or both, I'm gonna take advantage of that situation depending on where we are at the field, right? Say we're on our side of the field and our defense is playing well. If our defense is playing well, I'm gonna take a shot. Single high safety, I just sent a man in motion. The defender trails with my man that's in motion. It's only one safety back there, right? Play action, right? Play action, opposite of the side I'm gonna throw the ball, and I'm gonna take a shot with Mooney and whoever else we draft, stud wide receiver, to play that Z position, right? That's an opportunity to score a touchdown. So to ask your question, Sasbo, no, man, no. They're not going to play, or I wouldn't expect them to play too high safety. Too high safety is primarily when the defense or defender knows that we have 2 real threats at the X and Z positions, right? You force them in too high safety, then you should be able to run on a 7-man box all game long. So I hope I answered your question, my boy. If I didn't, hit me back in the comments, bro. I love the X's and O's questions, right? What you guys don't realize this does for me is it allows me, as I go back and forth, this originated with me missing football and wanting to enhance my film watching and X's and O's skills. So I learn things as I watch games and as you guys ask questions about X's and O's, right? So it's a passion for me, man. So there you have it. Soapbox moment again. Anyway, next to the next segment of the show, again, I promised that I was going to talk about the tight ends and fullback position. If you follow previous videos, not only am I doing breakdowns, but I'm going position by position on the offense. I've already done an O-line. I've done wide receivers. Today is tight ends and fullbacks. I'm going to dedicate one show to talking strictly about Justin Fields and the quarterback position. That's going to be this Saturday. This Saturday at 6 p.m. Eastern Time, 5 Central. It's the Justin Fields show. I'm going to talk to you about what I think Justin did well, what I think he can do to improve, and how Luke Getsy can customize or custom design this offense to help his skill set, right? Those little nuances that they can throw in there. And I did some of that in the wide receiver video. So again, go back and check that video out. If you like what I'm putting down, again, don't hesitate, man. Like, subscribe, hit the notification bell, man. Follow me on Twitter, bro. I promise you you're going to learn something. If you don't, right? If I don't learn something, you don't learn something, we're not growing, bro. That's how it goes. So let's get into it, man. I'm probably finna tell you something right now. This is a Chicago Bears 360 Coach T exclusive. I'm finna probably tell you something right now that no other channel is gonna tell you. Right? Again, I'm telling y'all, bro, it's about the nuances of coaching football for me. Right? It's about the X's and O's. I cannot express that enough, right? I'm probably about to say something that you're probably not going to hear on any Bears channel, right? What does it have to do with Coach T? What are you talking about? I'm talking about the fullback position. Because another clue that we're changing running styles is we're going to get a true fullback. Right? JP Holtz is okay, kind of tight end, what they call the F tight end, Y tight end hybrid, plays tight end and fullback, right? Supposedly can catch balls, but he didn't catch a whole lot of passes for us last year. So I got to question his hands, right? Not a true blocking fullback, right? Couple that with Matt Nagy comes out over the last 2 or 3 years and says, I didn't come here to run the power I. Y'all remember that. This is me from a power aficionado, right? Power, gap power nerd. That's all I love. That's what I love to run myself. When your head coach says, I didn't come here to run the power I, immediately my antennas goes up, right? Because power football, and I wish I had the clip. There's a clip of Marshawn Lynch on the Pivot podcast talking about when the big play he ran in Seattle that shook the stadium. Right? Go check that out on the Pivot podcast, right? Marshawn Lynch describes the big play where he made the big run in the playoff and shook the stadium. Marshawn Lynch said they had put that play in for weeks, they just had never run it. Guess what that play was? Power. Power. The power play. What is the power play? You have a fullback. You're going to go what I call pro right eye, pro left eye, right? That's 11 personnel, actually 21 personnel, right? 2 backs, 1 tight end. You have a tight end on the line of scrimmage. You have a fullback in the backfield, candid and lined up behind the center. Snap of the ball. Tight end, everybody blocks down, washes down, opposite of the direction of the play's going, right? You have some guards who double team and climb to the linebackers, but everybody washes down opposite of the direction the play's going. The fullback leads up on a defensive end or outside linebacker. The outside threat of the line of scrimmage, right? Fullback goes in, smacks him in the mouth out of the backfield. Guard pulls from the outside, from the opposite side of the formation, and leads up in the hole and smacks the first linebacker he sees. That's power, right? That's power. That's the power play, right? That's the power play. You have to run power to establish a physical attitude in football. It's the core. It's one of the core plays, and Marshawn Lynch describes that play. That was the actual big run play in that playoff game. I say that because, listen, if you're going to run a gap power style offense a la Kyle Shanahan, you have to have a stud fullback. But like I said, Nagy said, I didn't come here to run the power I. So if you're not going to run power, you're going to do what your boy McVay, what Nagy, what a lot of coaches do, right? They're going to run split zone where they have a tight end. They run inside, outside zone, and they're going to have the tight end cut across the formation, and he's going to block the backside linebacker, outside linebacker, defensive end, right? Again, there's no eye candy for the linebackers to look at. It's just our guys are bigger and badder than yours. We just gonna play bully ball. It's so archaic to me, man. I can't say it enough how boring to me it is to watch. And then as a coach, I don't learn any. I don't get it. I don't hit anything I can add to my playbook. It's not fun, right? Not fun. And here's the thing about gap power, right? As a coach, even if I have smaller offensive linemen, undersized offensive linemen, none of the kids I coach will tell you they were ever scared of playing against teams that were bigger, because the power game is designed that you never take on a block head on. You never block the guy directly in front of you. You're either moving right or you're moving left. You're going to get an ear hole block every block, because you never block what we call bob, big on big, right? You never bob block a play. You're always going to either move in right or left, or what I would preface my play with is I always call the offensive line movement. I can't talk today, so I got to slow down. I always preface my play call with the offensive line movement. So they're always moving left or right, so I'll call roar or lion, right? So I'll say pro left eye, that's the formation, right? Roar, that's the offensive line, all blocking down to the right. Pro left eye, roar, 37 power or 35 power, right? That's the third back from the line of scrimmage. 3, 35, quarterback, fullback, running back, number 3. 5, 35 power is 30, third running back, third back out of the backfield, quarterback, fullback, running back. 5, hitting the 5 hole. The 5 hole, if you count to the left, they count odd, 1, 3, 5, right? So between the center and the guard is 1. Between the guard and tackle is 3, 5. Between the tight end and the tackle, yeah, I was right, is the 5 hole. So you never blocking straight ahead. So even if you got a small offensive lineman, bro, you can still win football games, is the point. Anyway, so what do I think we're doing? We got P.J. Holtz. I don't know, man. No. I say no. If you're going to run true power gap, bring in a guy, man. Bring in a guy. So this is my guy. I don't know if Baltimore is I don't know if Baltimore is parting ways with this guy. Hold on one second. I don't know if the Ravens are parting ways with him, but if they are, man, great pickup, because guess what? Baltimore runs a power gap style offense concepts, right? So bring in your boy, man. Bring in Patrick Ricard, man, from the Ravens. Solid. They call him Pancake Pat. 6'3", 6'4", 315 pounds. He actually goes both ways. Plays fullback and D-line. A Swiss Army knife. You don't want to see this guy coming out of the backfield. And he can catch. and he can catch. So the dimensions of a gap power fullback is he's a stud in the blocking game, right? And he can catch the ball out of backfield. Bring in a guy like that. Why not? I understand it, man. Fullbacks are dime a dozen. They're rare to find. They're hard to find, not dime a dozen. They're hard to find. I get that. Find a guy that can get the job done, that's going to block, right? That's going to catch the ball out of backfield. Here's the thing. If he's a free agent, old Pancake Pat right here, if he's a free agent, pay the dude. Tight end and fullback is one of the least paid positions on the football team. I don't know if y'all knew that. Fullback and tight end don't command a whole lot of money, so pay these guys. If you can add that added dimension to your team, pay the guy, all right? That's it for fullbacks, bro. It's not a whole lot of laundry list, not a big laundry list of fullbacks out there that you can get. This is the one guy that I saw. He's a stud, right? The other guys are old, a little bit old, broke down, decrepit. Elijah Penny, he's out there, but he's more of a running fullback. We don't need a running fullback. We need a blocking fullback. There's a guy that the restricted free agent in Las Vegas, he's a stud, another stud. If he walks, sign him. You're going to have the guy you need, right? That's it for those guys, man. Tight ends, y'all know the deal. Fullbacks, y'all know the deal. Power gap, just remember that. So if the Bears sign a fullback over the next couple weeks, I want y'all tweeting and retweeting. I want y'all tagging me. I want y'all to put some respect on my name. I want y'all to tag me. Don say Michigan State fullback, Connor Hayward. Hey, man, if he's a stud, we'll take him. My point is, definitely need a fullback in this style of offense if we run in true cap power, man. We do need it. All right? Listen. Tight ends. All right, y'all know what we got on the roster. Right? We got your boy Cole Kmet. We got Jesse James. And we got Jesper Horsted. We had Jimmy Graham. Let's go ahead and get it out the way, man. Jimmy Graham should be a cap casualty. Jimmy Graham, love you, Miro, but we don't need two Jimmy Grahams. We don't need two Jimmy Grahams. We got one already 6'7" guy that's supposed to be there to catch the jump ball, dominate in the pass game because he's so big, provide a big target to Justin Fields. And for all intents and purposes, he does. He does his job, right? A lot of people bad on Cole. I'm on the Cole now. I done forgot about Jimmy. We cutting Jimmy. In my eyes, Jimmy is gone, right? We need to free up some cap space. But let's talk about Cole. A lot of people bad on Cole, man. Let me tell you about Cole, right? With that big frame, with his pass catching ability and the flashes he showed last year, I like Cole. Here's the thing about Cole, though, and that again, most fans won't pay attention to. Cole, because of our porous offensive line play, Cole had to stay in and block a lot of pass plays to provide us another body so we can go to 6-man and a lot of times 7-man protection where we block 5 men with tight end and a running back. Or Cole chipped a lot. And he still had between 500 and 700 yards for the season, right? So imagine, again, this is why I talk about it, bro. I'm a foot stump it. This is why I talk about it all the time. Offensive line is the center of the universe, right? Go out there and pour some gas, get some sugar in your gas tank right now in your car. Ruin your engine. Don't change the oil in your engine for a long time, right? Take 2 cylinders out of your V6 engine. Take half the cylinders out and see how well your car runs. Everything starts with the O-line. So because our O-line was poor and they can't block one-on-ones, they can't win on one-on-ones battles, they can't block 5 versus 4 or 5 versus 5, we got to lead a tight end in, we got to lead a running back in to go to 6 and 7-man protection. Now, I don't want to beat, 5-man, 6 and 7-man protection up like it's a bad thing. Here's the thing. You should only be doing 5-man protection about I want to say conservative, 5 to 10% of your pass plays should be 5-man protection, right? If you got a good O-line, maybe 15 to 20%, right? You got a stud O-line, bro. You can stand back there with 5-man protection and you can kill the game. Watch the good teams. Watch the good teams. They can flood the defensive backfield with tight ends and extra wide receivers and running backs because those 5 guys up front can hold up. So back to tight ends. I don't want to be, run down the rabbit hole, bro. Y'all know how much I love O-line talk. Cole has to stay in. If we get Cole in those pass patterns about, let's say 10 to 15% more of the plays where he's not staying in the block, I'm saying Cole goes over 1,000 yards. Gets close to it at least. Gets close to it at least. What do you have between 700 for the season? He starts being one of those guys that etch around 1,000 yards maybe. I want to say high. If he's in the 500s, he'll get the high 700s. If he's in 700s, he'll get the high 900s. I don't have the stats for you right now. I'm not a stats guru. When we get there, when I add to the channel, I'm going to get me a stat head. But listen, you get what I'm saying. You get what I'm saying. Cole can be that guy, man. We just got to get him out of protection so much. All right. That's it on Cole, bro. Cole, here's the thing. Cole's big enough. I'll say this too. Cole's big enough that he can be and he's becoming a great inline blocker. So the great thing about all this and going through these trials and tribulations with Naki is he became a better blocking. Now I believe, again, as we change these bodies on the front 5, Cole is going to explode in the offensive game. But here's what I got for you too. And I got this for a question for you. What do we do with the other guys? Jesse James, pretty quick, can catch the ball. Jesper Horsted, listen, man, you don't want me to get started on that guy. I'll tell you about this. I'll tell you like this. Anytime you have your star quarterback and he has chemistry with a guy like Jesper Horsted, all right, one game, okay. Yeah, he looked up and caught the touchdown pass. All right, whatever. All right, 2 games, all right, all right, a little something there. Every time Jesper's on the field with Justin, they make plays. They make plays. So what's the deal? Put the guy in them, let him play, man. So here you go. Watch this. Football, X's and O's. Put Cole Kmet at the wide tight end, which is blocking in line, right? Blocking primarily. Catching the ball becomes secondary for him, but he still gets his yak. He gets his yards, gets his yak in the game. Put Jesper Horsted at the F tight end, right? The F tight end, which is more of a Travis Kelce, George Kittle type position, right? A pass catching tight end position where he's going to be too fast and quick for linebackers, right? He's going to be too big for safeties, right? That's the mismatch. He's going to be too big for nickel corners. That's the strategic move with the F tight end. You're going to get him working in the middle third of the field between the linebackers and safeties, sometimes under the linebackers, between linebackers and safeties, right? And you're going to get him, get him matched up against a nickel corner. A nickel corner is not going to come up and just tackle a guy like that on the first get. You can get a quick hitch to an F tight end. Nickel corner tries to tackle him. He runs right through that tackle. You see what I'm saying? It's strategic. I like the guys. Brandon Button says keep James and Horsted, draft Ferguson, Collar with one of the 6 round picks. Hey, Brandon's deep in that draft pool. He's deep in that draft pool, calling those names out. Ferguson and Collar. I hadn't even heard those names. So you got me on that one, my boy. I did hear about the kid. Oh, we're going to get into it. Let me get into it. I'm getting ahead of myself. Right, so let's talk about, let me jump right into it since I already brought it up. I did hear about this kid right here. A lot of noise about this kid right here. Isaiah Likely, tight end, Coastal Carolina, 6'4", 241, projected 40 times going to be a 4.65. If this kid, listen to me, if this kid runs a 4.5, 4.6 at 6'4", 240, He's definitely going to be an F tight end, going to be a pass catching tight end. The problem is he's probably going to be a late third round, high fourth round pick, right? So the question becomes is, do you want to spend a pick on a tight end when we got two guys that could be serviceable at the position, or there's free agents out there for cheap? Remember, tight end and fullback, some of the cheapest positions on the football field, on the offensive football field. You can go out and get a fullback and tight end for almost next to nothing. Do you want to draft a guy or spend that? The expense here is the pick, right? The expense is the pick, because you're not going to pay a tight end a lot of money anyway. So give up that pick for a tight end when you can go get a free agent tight end that's serviceable, or you can ride with the guys we got. I like the kid. Let me go back to him again. Get my moniker off there. Isaiah Likely. I like the kid, man. He does some great things. Big yards, right? I just don't like this. I don't like the spin. I don't like the value for where, like, we have to treat our picks like the second round is our first round and so on and so forth, right? And I'm going to talk about the draft a little bit more, but I might as well say it now, right? That third round, listen, the sweet spot in this draft to me is between 50 and 110, right? 50 to 110. There are so many dogs. That goes from late second, 50, let me do the math on that. That goes mid-second to about mid-third, but I'll stretch that down and say all the way to the bottom of the third. So mid-second all the way to the bottom of the third. If we can stretch our 5 picks out and we can get 4 or 5 picks between the third and fourth round, watch out, man. I'm telling you, there's so many studs in there. So many studs in there. All right, guys, let me get into the free agents. Jared Cook, 6'5", 250. Dude runs in the 4.4s. Has always been a player with potential. Monster production in the passing game. And while he's never quite put up that kind of production, he's been consistent, been a consistent, productive weapon. Again, Jared Cook, man, that's another name. Runs in the 4.4s at tight end, bro. Catches the ball. Now, I know we got Jesper. I know we got James. I know we got Cole, but I'm not talking about the wide end line guy. I'm talking about the F tight end. I'm talking about the guy, the pass guy. I'm talking about the diet George Kittle's, the diet, what's his name? Travis Kelce's. They not that guy, but they the diet version. You know how Coke and Pepsi diet don't quite taste like the real thing? It's like that sometimes. All right. I agree with you too. Hang on a second. I agree with you. I see the comment right there, Midwest Monster. I agree with you. It's not the pressing need. But we talking about tight ends and fullbacks today because we just got to cover the position, bro. I wouldn't spend a pick on that guy either. I wouldn't spend the third round or the fourth round pick on a tight end. But if a guy falls to you, you got to take it in consideration. I'm just saying. All right. How about Gerald Everett? Used to be with the Rams. All right. Went to Seattle. I seen this guy do some damage a couple years ago while at the Rams. I didn't see him a whole lot at Seattle because they got West Coast games. Usually after the Bears game, I'm done, especially with the Nagy crew. I was just done, man. Right? I'm just done. I can't watch a whole lot of West Coast football. But I remember when he's with the Rams. I remember when the Rams played the Kansas City Chiefs on Thursday night or Monday Night Football, and they put up like a gazillion points that game. And I remember Everett going off, like some completely snapping, right? I remember that. Those guys are some potential guys that we could get if we don't keep Jesper and James. But again, for the record, I want to say that I'm okay with James, Jesper, and Cole, right? I'm okay with Jesper, James, and Cole. It's just, It's just if you just want to, get a guy, you want a guy that can produce. If you want to get a guy you don't have to worry about, right? You don't have to go into the season saying, I don't know. Then I don't know if you got to think about that with Jesper. I know Jesper and Justin got chemistry, right? I know Justin and James got chemistry. I know he knows the guys that's in that room. So, like I said, man, that's, the tight end spiel for today. Tight end fullbacks. I know it's not exciting stuff. I know O-line, tight end, fullback. They're not this sexy discussion and things that people want to talk about, but we're going position by position, man. So it is what it is. My iPad keeps doing this thing, bro. It just wants to do its own thing, but we're going to work with it. I keep alerting. It wants to do its own thing, but we're going to work with it. Listen, man, it's time for the next segment of the show. Y'all know what it is, man. It's the Drunk Uncle Award of the week, man. I give a Drunk Uncle Award to anybody in media, social media, podcasters, vloggers, bloggers that I see, man, that just come up with the most craziest takes. But before I jump into that segment, man, do me a favor. If you're watching the show on the replay, go like, subscribe, hit the notification bell. Right? Go back and watch some of the old videos. I didn't do a video breakdown X's and O's today. I talked about the X's and O's, but you best believe as we lead up on the season, or as I see fit, I'm on vacation this week, so wasn't a whole lot of video breakdowns happening. I'm telling you that. But as we lead up on the season, especially when the season happens, I'm going to be on them X's and O's. I'm going to be on Video Breakdown Central. Right? I'm breaking down offense and defense. Mostly offense, though, because that's the side of the ball I coach. And that's where I like to steal my plays from. All right. Next section of the show. Next section of the show. The drunk uncles, man. The drunk uncles. If they got a bad take, do me a favor. And if you see a bad take throughout the week, something just crazy off the wild that you don't know about the X's and O's, you just don't check out, because I'm always going to debate or debunk a lot of this foolishness you see with the X's and O's, man. If you see something, do me a favor, tag me in it on Twitter. Follow me on Twitter right here. It is Chicago Bears 360 _ Coach T. Follow me. If you see something, tag me in it, Coach. Hey, I got a drunk uncle nominee for you. This dude is talking crazy. Now, I usually don't talk. I usually won't debunk, individual fans. I don't go out of fans. Usually it's the media, like I said, bloggers, media, and especially the national media. But let's get into the intro. We'll talk about it. Let's go.
Anything is possible, got feelings in my cup. I see everything in double, got 2 blunts, I'm rolling up.
All right, man, that's enough of that. That's the Drunk Uncle intro show. Drunk Uncle intro music by my son, man. Shout out to G Don't Crash. He also did the music for the intro video. That's my son, bro. He rap his tail off. Anyway, Drunk Uncles, man. Who are we giving the Drunk Uncle Award for the week to? Listen, ESPN, former Tampa Bay defensive lineman, Super Bowl winner, Booger McFarland, analyst at ESPN. I need you to come to the come to the front of the congregation. We need to have a conversation, my boy. Booger McFarland is on ESPN, NFL Live, talking about our boy QB1 Justin Fields. Crazy take. Says he won't pan out because he can't throw the ball from the pocket. This is what kills me, man, about the national media and why I love the fact that we have YouTube. There's a lot of Bears YouTube channels out there, man, and I get it. I love it, man. I love the fact that we got so many Bears YouTube channels out there and all this other stuff. But one of the benefits of having YouTube channels is we get to hone in on our team. We get to hone in on the ins and outs of our team, the weaknesses and strengths of our own team. I know we debate on Twitter all the time. It's like a family feud all the time. But listen, man, Booger McFarland, that's why my son references smoking and drinking in his song in the intro. Booger McFarland must be smoking something strange. Left-hand cigarettes, as we used to call them in the Marine Corps. Booger is smoking that good stuff. Because Booger's saying that Justin needs to learn how to throw from the pocket. Tells me, obviously, that Booger hasn't watched the Chicago Bears football game all year. Because anybody, and you don't have to be an X and O guru to know that anybody that has watched Chicago Bears football, understanding that this dude spent the majority of his season running for his life. If Justin Fields had the offensive line, and their offensive line all that great either, but better than ours was. If he had the offensive line the Jags had, the Jets had, or the San Francisco 49ers, now in my head I'm comparing Justin to Trey, your boy down in Jacksonville, Trevor, and Zach Wilson. If he had their offensive lines, he would have probably been Rookie of the Year. He probably would have, just that little bit more help would have put him over the edge. But obviously, Booger don't watch Bears football. Because if Booger watched, he just bad at it, bro. That's bad.